Warning! Hey, dumbass! This show is called The Offenders. So if you hear something that offends you, then we are doing our fucking job. So quit crying. Love the Offenders.
Guys, welcome back to another episode of the Offenders Podcast. As always, I'm Kyle, and broadcasting all the way from the terrible city of Macon, Georgia, Evan Jones.
私の名前は Evan Jones です.
What the fuck did you just call me?
I said you a stupid motherfucker, man. That's what I said. What you gonna do about it, Athens?
Ooh, that's racist.
Man, I called you Athens.
Okay, fair enough.
First off, yo, I gotta clear the air here. I've been sleeping with a heavy heart. I wasn't completely truthful. I didn't have the IT crowd party. I did end up going to Dragon Con. I canceled it and I went up there and I just didn't want to say anything because you'd already booked everything, so I just showed up and I helped out with the cameras and shit. I had a great time.
Well, I'm glad you did come up there because I didn't want you to violate my trust like that. Violate the trust I put in you to come all the way up there and help, you know.
Goodness knows.
So, I'm glad that you
I
really
trusted you.
Exactly. But
never again.
For those who don't know, we got the one and only Meister Awesome at Kickass to help us with some interviews up there, and we've uploaded those to the Facebook page. So. If you haven't, seen them yet, you can go to the Facebook page that we have and check them out. We've got some photos up there too that were taken and by the wonderful Stephen Wild to assisted us with that.
Super cool, dude.
Yeah, we hung out with him. We didn't get to hang out with him as much as we wanted to because, it's so hard to do that at Dragon Con because it's literally so fucking big now. It's hard to meet up with people because there were other people I wanted to meet up with I never got to, who I never even could get in contact with because your phone didn't work half the time, so...
I gotta say two things real quick. Number one, it was awesome for me because Meister Awesome and Kick-Ass didn't kick my ass, as he usually does. And number two, I don't know who is getting more compliments. Your outfit or Steven's shirt?
Oh man, his shirt, people were all over that shirt.
It's like, why do you even need to get
shirt to the people out there who didn't see it?
If you could take Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter and Ninja Turtles and put them all together, that's what the shirt was.
Yeah,
we
literally.
put it that way. Yes. Yeah. Let your mind paint a picture. Close your eyes and breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth and picture that.
Yeah, it was a pretty awesome shirt. And I got a lot of comments too because I was dressed as Walter White Heisenberg in his cook outfit from Breaking Bad. And I'm going to tell you right now, so part of that outfit, for those who don't know, it's like you wear this yellow hazmat suit. Fuck, man. I was so hot in that thing. Because, literally, first off, we're in Atlanta in August. So it's 90 degrees, 90 to 100 degrees. You're inside of these hotels and you're constantly moving around. And there's tens of thousands of people. So it's hot. Hot as shit. And then you're in something that doesn't breathe, so, the sweat is just accumulating all over you. So, once we kind of split up after that night, and I went back to the hotel room, the person I was staying with, when I walked in, and I took off that yellow thing, I was wearing, a t-shirt and shorts underwear, and I took it off, and she looked at me, she was like, damn, it looks like you've been swimming. Because I was just soaked in sweat. And so, of course, I shower, so, I get back here, and I'm like, well, I need to clean this thing out. And I'm like, well, how do you clean a damn hazmat suit? I've never done this before. So I was like, well, I'll just hose it down, because it reeks, because it smelled like sweat. So I hose it down. The damn thing still smells like sweat.
Dude, when you would unzip it, it looked like a pool in the middle of winter with the fucking tarp over it, and there's like little rain puddles in it. That's exactly what it looked like when you would unzip. I'd be like, God damn, how much is he sweating in that thing?
It was hot because at one point I ran into another guy dressed like Walter White, and I talked to him for a moment, and he was like, let me ask you a question. Are you sweating as much as I am this thing? I was like, dude, you have no idea. He's like, yeah, I'm about to go back to the room.
Man, It was ridiculous. Because, I mean, I was a little warm, and I had on, like, same thing I always wear, like a hooded sweatshirt and Under Armour. And Maestro was copping my style, but that's cool. You know, he's Pan Galactic Champion. He can dress however he wants. But shit, man. I know if I was a little toasty, you had to be fucking burning up.
Yeah, I mean, it was fun to, like, I think last year I dressed as the guy from Clockwork Orange. And maybe that movie's so old that, like, a lot of people don't know what it is. Mm-hmm. But the people who do know what it was, they were like, oh, cool outfit, you know, stuff like that. But this year, when I was dressed as Heisenberg, man, I had so many people come up to me. All the people wanted to get their picture taken with me. Like,
yeah, dude.
At one point, these black guys, were you there when that happened?
Whoa.
Yeah, this black guy was like, oh, shit, man, Heisenberg, let me get a picture with you. And I had a bag that looked like the meth they make in the TV show.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, shit, you got the blue stuff. Let me hold on to that. And I went to let him hold it, and I had a little baggie of it, too. And he's like, oh, shit. And so, like, I slipped it to him afterwards, and he's like, oh, hell no, man, you see that? Oh, my God.
Man, Now, everybody knows that I'm Mr. Evan Straight Edge Jones, but man, you had some good shit.
Oh, yeah, man. That blue sky shit's pretty good. I'm not gonna lie.
Just in case you guys are wondering, he had some fucking delicious blue rock candy that looked exactly like meth.
Yeah, it tasted like it was raspberry, and it's delicious.
Like, I had about 3 baggies myself, and I was like, fuck, I hope that wasn't real meth. But then I didn't want to start cleaning every room in the hotel for like days on end, so I'm pretty sure it was just rock candy.
Yeah. But, so let's talk about some of the stuff we saw there. Oh, we can start with the first day, so Friday.
Okay, so let's see. We got there. I remember, what all did we do on Friday? We didn't meet up with Maestro till much later, so we were just kind of walking around. What was the first thing that we got in line for? Was it wrestling? Was that the first thing we got in line for?
Yeah, I think we just kind of wandered around because the dealer's room. Oh no, that was the first thing we got in line for.
Yeah,
hold on.
Shit.
Okay, so for those of you who've been to Dragon Con before, up until this year, the dealer's room was in the bottom floor of the Marriott. There's 2 dealer's rooms. There's a larger one that's like in the mid-level. There's another one that's on the bottom level. And the bottom level one was basically hell. You couldn't get through it. Mm-hmm. Okay? So this year, they decided they were going to move the dealer's rooms to a new hotel called the America Mart. Mm-hmm. Okay? And the America Mart, when you walked in there, like, they didn't open the dealer's room until 1 o'clock on Friday. The line was outside the goddamn building to get into it. When you finally got into the room, you could not even move.
And on top of that, it's like fucking 10 minutes walk from the other 4 hotels.
Yeah, it's like a pain in the ass to get to. So, you literally were like elbow to elbow moving through the dealer's room, and like, to the point where everybody just basically all agreed, like, fuck this, I'm leaving. There's no reason to be in here.
At least, I remember we had that conversation with at least 4 or 5 people that were like surrounding us. It's like, man, I can't even see shit. Fuck this. And they were like, yeah, man, fuck this. This is stupid.
Yeah, and then we all pretty much just, forced our way through the crowd to leave. Because I remember even saying, like, if I wanted to steal something, how would they stop me at this point? Like, they would not even know, because the dealers couldn't even leave their booths. They couldn't even see what was going on. But, when we left, I remember them saying, oh, you should go upstairs. I'm like, no, fuck this place. There's no way you can get around.
Yeah, exactly.
What they didn't say is that's where everything was. Like, the bottom floor literally was not even probably a quarter. I mean, it was less than, it's probably maybe a tenth of all the dealers were in the bottom floor. Majority of stuff was upstairs. And upstairs, it was easier to move through.
Yeah, we didn't even try it at all on Friday. Because I think I went back on Saturday, but we'll get to that in a minute. But the thing is, it's like, there was some cool stuff in there, no doubt, but the problem was you could not fucking get to anything. It was nuts to butts, chins to back of heads. The only good part was, like, when some hot girl would walk by and her boob would accidentally touch your arm. Other than that, fuck that dealer's room.
Yeah, I mean, you couldn't see anything on that bottom floor of it, so... And I think that was, like, the first major thing we did, and I think after that, we split up. Like,
Yeah.
I don't remember, I think I decided I was going to go back to my room, because I had a hotel that was right there.
Yeah, because, let me tell a quick story here.
I remember, yeah.
One of my buddies that went with us, I won't use his name, he wanted to meet, Jason David Frank, the Green Power Ranger. So he had way ahead in advance, had paid for a photo op. And for those of you who don't know, what you do is you pay this money, you get a ticket, you print off the ticket, you go and you meet at this room, give him the ticket, you meet the guy, you do a picture with him. Well, he got one for the Green Ranger on Friday and one for the White Ranger on Saturday.
Which is the same guy, but he was recording,
Yeah.
He was doing it on different days because he would be in the costume on that day. As the green one day and the white the other.
So we get there and we see him running out of the room. We're like, oh, okay. And we didn't think much of it. We thought, maybe he had to go piss or something. It's kind of hard to do in a Power Ranger outfit, whatever. So we go and we stand in line and we're standing with all these old people. And I'm like, damn, these people are a little old for Power Ranger fans, but what the fuck ever. I'm 32. What can I say? So this lady turns around to us and she goes, so you boys, I wouldn't figure you for Ed Asner fans. And we were like, huh? This is the Power Ranger line.
Ed Asner.
Yeah. She's like, no, he left. And this is for Ed Asner. So I look at, oh shit, I said his name. We'll have to bleep that out later.
I'll bleep it out.
So I turn around and look at him, and he's got this look on his face like he just saw somebody shit on his brand new G.I. Joe. And he's just so mad. And he's like, I spent $50 goddamn on that. And I'm like, dude, it's okay. He's going to be here tomorrow. We know he's going to be here tomorrow. It'll be cool. Let's go. We'll find out. We talked to the photographer guys like, be here at 12:15 sharp. Because if there's only 2 people here, then he's not going to stay. So you got to make sure that you're on time. So I was like, this is dipshit, whatever. So we're like, okay, we'll be back 12:15. The rest of the fucking day, my friend loses his mind. Every time we walk by anything Power Ranger related, we would walk by like some little 8-year-old kid. He's like, look at that bullshit ass Power Ranger costume. Like some little kid just having a good time. And he's like, that stupid ass paper mache helmet. What the fuck shit is that? There's like this little kid. Then we went to tried to go to the signings. And that was another clusterfuck. I don't know how many other ones were like that. If you guys have a story, please write in about it. But we go and we get in line. And the fucking security there is so annoying because it was just like, it seems to be like these people, Kyle, really, I'll let you explain the security at Dragon Con, Kyle. Go right into it.
Okay, so basically, security at Dragon Con, for the most part, is volunteer. Now, this year's the first time I've seen this, but they actually had a paid service but all they do is sit at the door and make sure you had a badge to go in and out of places. But that was it. But like the actual security within the places usually are like volunteers who all they're doing is making sure you're standing in line and shit's not getting out of control and you've got badges and stuff like that. Okay? But these people are the motherfuckers who all year round are nothing. They have no life. They probably get picked on. They just don't know how to deal with it. But for 5 fucking days at Dragon Con, they are the fucking gods. And they treat people like shit.
Yes.
They fucking treat people like shit. I got a Saturday story about that. But I don't doubt that they would basically treat you like shit just because you're standing in line to get something signed, you know?
So this is what happened. So we're standing in line. Everything's good to go. This girl comes up. No, this isn't the line. What are you doing? So like, hold up, bitch. Fuck, I said his name.
God damn it.
This is gonna have more bleeps than a fucking gangster rap song. This is ridiculous. And like, so we're standing in line and he's like, what the fuck is this bitch talking to me for? So we're just like, shit, what is this? She's like, no, the line is back there. So we turn around and it's like halfway across the fucking dealer's room, you know? And we're just like, but he's right here and there's nobody else here but us. She's like, no, you have to go over there. So we walk all the way over into this fucking corner and there's like 5 pieces of pink duct tape. So we're just standing there, and we're like, what the fuck ever? Okay, he's not here, we'll go over there, we'll stand, whatever. So we end up standing there for 30 minutes. And there's this little kid there who has he has no volume control on his voice. He's like, "Oh, that must be the second edition Power Ranger action figure. I recognize that one because my father gave it to me." And at first we're like, haha, he's talking funny. But after 30 minutes of that shit, we're just like, why the fuck didn't they give this kid Ritalin? What's his fucking problem?
Now, when you say kid, is this actually like a little kid, or is this
yes, like a little kid, like probably 10, 11 years old.
I'm almost okay with the little kid. If it had been like an adult like that, you're just calling a kid, that's a different story, but go on.
So we're just like, okay, this is bullshit. So, like, there's a couple up in front of us that were dressed as Power Rangers. Really cool. So they're like, man, this is bullshit. We're going to go up there and see what's going on. So they go up there, and there's another line where we were standing that had been getting autographs the whole fucking time. So this dumbass security woman took us to a line for no reason. While everybody
Ed Asner line.
Yeah, right. They took us to the fucking Ed Asner line while everybody else is up there getting their fucking autographs and pictures. So we wasted all that time doing that bullshit. And we get up there and the guy's really cool. He's like, yeah, I'm sorry we missed you. Just bring a whole bunch of shit to the photo shoot tomorrow and I'll sign it for free. And for those of you who don't know, that's pretty cool because the motherfucker was charging $20 to sign one thing. $20 per signature. Not $20 for however many pictures you want. $20 one merchandise. That's it. So we were like, shit, okay, whatever. And man, just like the rest of the day, anytime we would go anywhere, I figured that would satiate him, but man, he was still pissed. He's just like, Jason David Frank, you motherfucker. I've been waiting all year long to see your Green Ranger ass, and then all of a sudden, you take 2 pictures and you leave and you go get some goddamn Checkers fries. What the fuck is up with this shit? And it's just like, be like, oh man, we gotta go see the Nightbreed movie. Yeah, we'll go see the Nightbreed movie because they ain't got Jason David Frank's late fucking 10-minute ass in it. And we're just like, shit, man. Take it easy. You take it easy. You didn't waste $50 on a Green Ranger photo shoot. Ain't never gonna happen. I was like, shit, man.
Oh man. Yeah, I think I didn't go back to the hotel room at that point, but I think I'd gone to a panel for like podcasting or something just to see some guys I knew who podcast. But I remember I think we met up at Wrestling Next.
Yeah.
And I remember he was not happy during that.
That line for wrestling was intense.
I didn't think we were going to get in. Like, I was ahead of you guys, and I was like, it was outside the hotel, around the hotel. And they still had seats, but like, I've never seen it that long. So I'm guessing that like, everything's getting bigger though. That's the problem.
Exactly. Cause I mean, I love pro wrestling. It makes me happy that there's such a big turnout, but fuck, it was like wrapped around the hotel and down the street going towards the other hotels. And it's like, shit, it is hot as fuck in there, man. It's hot outside. It's hot in the stairs. It's like, okay, here's the line. So you see it and you're like, oh great, there's 20 people. And it's like, nope, you gotta go back up the stairs, down the stairs, through a hallway, up the ramp, down the door, out the fucking building, up the crosswalk, and it's just like, holy shit, this is ridiculous.
And that's when we met it with Maestro and Steven, I think, for the first time.
Yeah, that's when we saw him there.
And like, I'll say this too with the wrestling. I think the room is always full when it first starts. But literally, like, usually 30 minutes to an hour into it, like, there's fucking hardly anybody left in there. Like, people just like, fuck this, I'll go find something else to do, you know? And it's one of those things, like, I think some people just come in there to scream and be drunk and loud, which that's a lot of what wrestling is anyways.
Yeah.
Because, like, the people in front of us, there's a dude, he just had this bag. Like, this big plastic bag with a spigot on it.
A bag of, it's box wine out of the box.
Yeah, and he would just yell to people, slap the bag! Slap the bag! And then if you did, he would try to, like, pour it in your mouth. Yeah. I didn't do it, because I'm like, that looked like piss. It looked like piss in a fucking bag.
It smelled even worse.
Yeah, but I remember he spilled it on one of his friends, and I thought his friend was going to kick his ass.
And that's so ridiculous. Like, because the guy in front of us spilled a little bit on his shirt. I saw it happen, and the guy got pissed off. It's like, you just drank wine out of a fucking plastic bag, and you're mad because you spilled some on your goddamn Star Trek shirt? Jesus, fuckhole, man.
But yeah, so then after wrestling...
Oh, wait, we gotta talk about something.
Okay.
One of my favorite parts as a spectator was seeing you and Maestro become the constructive criticism fans.
I forgot about that.
Now, I'm sitting there, right, and I'm just watching, And Maestro and Kyle are coming up with this plan because we were talking about how stupid it is that, like, you know, Jimmy, the Radio Shack employee, just shows up to be a tough guy because he gets drunk on vodka and Powerade, and he's like, "Fuck you, you're pussies, boo, boo." Yeah. And everybody, you know, that's stupid. That's not funny. Nobody gives a shit. It's just some guy trying to look tough. But you put Maestro Awesome McKickass, commentator extraordinaire, and Kyle, Zombie Jesus, together. And let me tell you what happened. They created constructive criticism, fan. Let me give you some of the calls that they gave out. Okay, so we'll say dumbass Jimmy, the Radio Shack employees to the right. "Fuck you! You suck!" Maestro is going, "Although your intro music is somewhat pumping me up, I feel that the cut of your shirt is a little too tight for your muffin top."
Yeah, exactly. Or the
and I'm like, what?
Or like the guy comes out, he has like really greasy looking hair, and I yell, it's like, "There's nothing wrong with having long hair, but perhaps you should look with a new barber because I don't believe that he's doing you justice with the Jerry curl."
And it's like it's not being a complete asshole, it's only being a little bit of an asshole to help them out.
But the thing that made me happy about doing that was like the dude who was up in front of us, and every time we would yell that, he would just laugh. Like,
Petey Pink Shirt, man. Yeah, he was having a blast.
He was loving it. He turned back and looked at us and just laughing as we were yelling out these constructive criticisms at people, you know?
What was another word? It's like,
yelling like, "You're a faggot, suck his dick," you know?
Yeah. And then Maestro's sitting there, it's like, "I feel that you could have somewhat sold that power bomb better because I do not believe that you're actually injured. Perhaps next time you should put a little more oomph in your selling."
There was a female referee at one point, and she was very bosomy, and she was wearing a shirt that pretty much her breast kept popping out of, and I just remember yelling, it's like, "Perhaps you should look at wearing a larger bra next time with a shirt that is not quite so tight that causes your breast to erupt each time you move."
And there was like, one of their things that they do every year is they bring out a box of Lucky Charms cereal, and they like hit people and it goes everywhere. Whatever, you know, that's fine.
I don't get it.
And it's like, Maestro goes, "I believe you should use a somewhat more monstrous cereal box. I would be more afraid of Count Chocula versus a Jolly Leprechaun."
Yeah. But I think the moment when wrestling got to the point where we should leave was when some dude for charity, who was a wrestler,
oh man,
was basically letting people pay $3 to beat him with a belt.
That was fucked up, man.
Yeah, I didn't feel comfortable being there anymore. It's like, this turned it from like a fake wrestling match to a guy actually getting beat like a slave in front of me.
I felt like I was in Rome, you know, because it's like, it'd just be like, yeah! And I'm just sitting there, it's like, you just hit some guy he's destroying his body for, you know, some children's hospital, and everybody's like, yeah, kill him!
Yeah, fuck him up for those kids!
There's a huge paradox of thought there, you know?
Yeah. But when we left there, we then went to the Night Attack panel.
Yeah! Those guys are great, man.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know, there's a podcast called the NSFW Show that's broadcast through the twit.tv station or website, and it's a podcast, and it's basically these two guys, Brian Brushwood and Justin Robert Young, and they're fucking hilarious. But they've done 2 comedy albums that are called Night Attack. And the third one, they filmed half of it at another convention called Nerdtacular in Salt Lake City, and they filmed another part of it at DragonCon this year. And I'm known through that podcast by the name Zombie Jesus, so I'd met up with them earlier when Evan and his friend were basically getting snubbed by Power Rangers. I'd met up with them for a brief moment. So that's kind of, you know, I wanted to go see these guys, so I knew they're fucking hilarious. And at first I wasn't sure if Evan and our friend were going to like it. But I think afterwards, like, we agreed that it was pretty hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I remember a long time ago you sent me a video of like some kind of spirit animal something or another, and it was funny. But man, the guy that got his beard shaved is fucking hilarious. Like his drunk captain, what's his name? Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan. Because
my favorite kind of comedy is improv, where you know that people are just talking out of their ass, and they just come up with the most absurd shit, and it's just so funny. And that's all the guy was doing. You know, they told some really funny stories, but when the guys just start talking and it's just free, that's the funniest to me.
Yeah, it's pretty good stuff. I'll put a link to the to the excerpts of not Captain Morgan in the comments so people can check it out because it's fucking hilarious. All right, so that was what did we do after? Was that it? Oh, was it Friday?
Oh,
yeah.
we went to the fucking Avengers Ball.
I remember
we went
that.
to the Avengers Ball. Now me, you know, I'm not a party guy, so I got my little cup of ice water and I stood there. I was like, okay, you guys have fun. Maestro takes over that night and he says, boys, we're gonna get a dance before we get out of here. And I'm like, I can't do that because I can't dance. I only know how to mosh.
Because you're
He's
white.
like, that's true. That's true. I'm so white that I am practically see-through. You can see, you know, the second layer of skin in my veins and everything.
You're so white, I've had somebody tell me before that you're disgustingly white.
Yes, I am disgustingly white because I'm like Inside Out Boy from the old Nickelodeon. You remember that? He went over the swing set.
I do. I remember Inside Out Boy.
That's what I look like, pretty much. I'm pink. I'm so white. So they're standing up there, and Maestro somehow magically gets a woman with a boyfriend to let his girlfriend dance with him. So I'm just like, bravo, dude. Way to go. And he goes out there, he does his shit. Kyle, on the other hand, finds a female Deadpool and tries to teach her how to twerk. And
Yeah.
I'll let you go through the rest of that.
Oh yeah, so I'm not really one for dancing either. I didn't really want to be there because at this point my feet were fucking killing me. I was just like, God, I don't want to fucking be here. But I've walked all the way down to the Westin, which is like the furthest fucking away hotel at this goddamn convention. I was like, well, I might as well stay here for a little bit. So I told him, I was like, listen, I'll dance, but I'm gonna twerk. I'm gonna go up to somebody and ask if they know how to twerk. Well, there's this female Deadpool that had been standing around behind us. So I was like, all right, cool. Let me go up, and I was like, I leaned in and I was like, do you know how to twerk? And so she was still like in straight up like Deadpool mode. She's like, no, I'm Deadpool. I don't do that. I was like, can I show you how? She was like, I guess. So then I twerked with Deadpool, a female Deadpool. And
It looked awesome.
She's like, that's interesting, but I'm not going to do that. I was like, okay, see you later. And I just walked away.
Oh, big gulps, huh? See you later.
I mean, I wasn't even trying to pick her up. I didn't really give a fuck. It was more like so they would stop hounding me about dancing with somebody. That's why I did it.
So let me be clear on this. My friend, who shall continue to remain unnamed thanks to the bleeps previous in the episode, is probably the least disgusting of all of us.
Yeah.
Because
he doesn't have a pube beard and he's not overweight.
Yeah. And he's fucking just, you know, an amazing guitarist. But that being that aside, he's the most presentable of all of us. So of course you would think he would be the one that would get the dance just like that. It takes us 30 minutes to convince him to go talk to a girl. He gets up there, talks to her, comes back and he's like, she wouldn't do it. So we're all like, oh, whatever, that sucks, but you tried. So we end up leaving. Kyle leaves. We go back. Maestro tells us he's going to stay at somebody's hotel, and me and my friend walk back. And he goes, I have to tell you something. When I walked up to her, I said, hey, my friends are watching me. Will you just shake your head no so I can walk back and tell them that you said no to me? Because I don't know how to dance. And I was like, I was just flipping out because this girl this was Miss Marvel. She was gorgeous. And she would have danced with him, but he told her not to. She kept looking over at him the whole night while we were leaving. Because I was like, dude, maybe she's giving you a second chance. Maybe she's thinking about it. She keeps looking over. Nah, man, she's not into it. So the moral of the story is, if you go up to a girl, ask her to dance. Because the worst thing you can do is just look as stupid as the other 15 people there who do not know how to dance. And that's it, you know. If you don't know how to dance, don't worry, because nobody else knows how to dance either, except for like 5 people who are standing in a circle doing crazy ass, breaking electric boogaloo fucking dances on some cardboard on the carpet.
Well, that, and it's like, it's hard to describe. It was white people dancing, which white people can't really dance well anyways, and it wasn't dance music. It was like, fucking Smells Like Teen Spirit. That's not dance music. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like the song, but you're not dancing to that. Like, the closest to dance music came on was like, TLC's Creep, and that's not even dance music. That's fucking grind music.
They played that Outkast song. That was dance music.
Oh, I think I'd left by that point.
But the moral of the story is, if you're at a dance, just go ask somebody to dance. The worst thing they can do is tell you no.
Yeah. If that's your thing. I don't really... It's not my thing, so I didn't really care.
So let's see. That was the end of Friday. Saturday, we got there a little bit later because...
Alright, hold on.
Yeah, you go first on this one.
Alright, so the fucking parade. That's all I got to say. I don't give a shit about the goddamn Dragon Con parade. I don't give a fuck. But you know what? If you're going to walk up the street that day, you're fucked, man. You're stuck in there. I literally got stuck in the crowd to the point where, like, you could not move. Like, it was, if you were somebody who was claustrophobic, you would have freaked the fuck out. Like, they would have had to put you down in the middle of this parade because there's just no way to move. And the problem is that everybody, well, let me say that. Not everybody, but a lot of people are trying to keep moving through the parade, like up the hill, through the crowd, but it gets to the point where there's so many people moving, it just blocks and you can't move anymore. So then you get these assholes behind you trying to tell you, hey, I'm trying to go up the hill. And you're like, yeah, I am too. There's nowhere to go. So at this point, like, this parade's been going on for like over an hour. And I'm like, God, when the fuck is this going to end? I'm tired of seeing fucking stormtroopers and Jedi and goddamn what the fuck ever's walking up this damn hill. It's not even
Adventure
interesting
Time
anymore. Fuck Adventure Time too, yeah. But so this dude comes up behind me, and it's literally at the end. Like, somebody's like, I can see the end of the parade. This dude comes up behind me, and he's like, could you please move? I'm like, there's nowhere to move to. I was like, the parade's about to be over. Just wait. He's like, legally, you can't block this way. I was like, go get a fucking cop so I can move then. And he just looked at me like, well, I never. And about that time, the fucking parade ends. So when the parade ends, literally at this point, there are cops who are sit there to try to, you know, keep traffic in control, so like when the parade ends, they can open the streets back up, because they block off like all these streets in downtown Atlanta for this parade. No, when the parade ends, people flood into the street, and there's nowhere for, like, the cops just literally look at it and throw their hands up like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Just let it go. And they're just watching these people just walking in the street like it's nobody's business. And then for like the next like 45 minutes to an hour, hotels are not letting anybody in because there's so many people who come down just to see the parade who aren't part of Dragon Con, that they don't want to just have all these people suddenly flooding into the hotel. So unless you've got a badge or a room key to that hotel, they don't let you in. So people are just stuck in the street. And it was just like, what in the hell? So that was like the beginning of that. And I was just like, this fucking day. So that was the start of Saturday for me. I think we didn't actually even get to meet up until almost 1 o'clock because of the parade.
Now, two things I got to throw in. Number one, I just had a great idea because Kyle likes to let loose during cons. That's when he just really just gives no fucks. He becomes Spider-Man. No fucks are given at all for Kyle. He just says whatever the fuck he wants whenever he fucking wants to. So what we can do next year to make this more fun is, we know there's going to be assholes there. We know they're going to be saying stupid shit. We get one of our friends to dress up as the big fat hippo woman from Rocko's Modern Life. And every time you say some outlandish shit, she can walk up and go, "How dare you?" Dude, that would be so fucking awesome. And number two, do you remember that character?
I do remember her. Yeah, I loved Rocko's Modern Life. It's one of my favorite cartoons.
We can do it, man. We just have to get some styrofoam or something. I don't know. But number two, while Kyle was suffering in the mean streets of A-Town, I have to say, I was enjoying the wonderful air conditioning and huge area that is known as the upstairs portion of the dealer's room of America Mart.
And see, that's what pissed me off. I was trying to get there because I was like, oh, go while everybody's at the fucking parade and I can just walk around unimpeded. Goddamn, the fucking parade was just like, nope, sit your ass down, bitch.
Man, me and my buddy could have set up a fucking picnic in the middle of the fucking aisles there and had a nice pizza and some iced coffee. And Kyle's sweating in the fucking heat.
I was so fucking soaked with sweat at that point that I just wanted to go back to the room and shower and change again. But I was like, I might not be able to get back to the goddamn room. I might as well keep going.
But seriously, though, I will say this. The upstairs area of America Mart was awesome. Yeah. There was a lot of extra stuff from last year, but I don't really know if it was such a good idea to move it all the way out there. Because, I mean, yes, there was extra stuff, but it was mostly just like 10 extra vendors of Doctor Who and Star Trek and fucking steampunk shit.
God,
there was not
no.
one extra fucking Cthulhu area or anything, man. I was like, whew.
They should just, like, make one whole room fucking steampunk and leather salesmen. Because that's all... There's only certain people who are looking at that shit anyways. So just make them all in one area. Fuck, make them the downstairs room. You know?
And I made it a point, this is something I don't know if I shared with anybody else, but every time somebody who bathed had walked by me, which is a fucking rarity at a convention, I said, thank you. And I said it more this year than anybody than I ever have in my entire life. That was a big positive for me because there were a lot of sweet smelling people there. So I wanted to tip my hat to all the people who decided to bathe this year because you really saved a lot of people from throwing up the $7 hot dogs that they just bought.
So why don't you tell me about some of the other stuff we'd say when certain people would walk by?
Well, Kyle and I are big fans of Wayne's World. Some of the best films ever made.
Agreed.
Well, so what we have brought back from the annals of time, if you will, is swing. Anytime we see a beautiful woman in cosplay, no matter what we're saying, we could be talking the fucking theory of relativity, and it's just like, there's nothing more exponential than swing, because that's what you do. When a hot girl walks by, you swing.
Well, and you do it for two reasons. One, because you can't be like, damn, look at her, because you're probably so close, you draw her attention, and she'd look at you and slap you. So you go swing, because most people seem to not either remember it or even know what you're saying or ignore it. And the other reason is it's like a radar. You're pointing it out to everybody else with you that there's somebody attractive you should be looking for right now. So it's like maybe they don't see it, but you say it, because as soon as I hear Evan say swing, I immediately start looking like, oh, where's it at? Where's it at? And I know he does the same thing.
And I fucked it up a couple times too, because I just stopped talking and Kyle would be like, what? I'd be like, dude, look. He's like, why didn't you swing, man? Why didn't you swing?
Yeah.
God damn it.
You
I
really
was like, dude, she was too pretty. I'm sorry.
Your swing door was down there, and I was kind of concerned for a while. I hope you've got it back in working condition for AWA.
Dude, I was just enraptured, man. I couldn't even swing. It was just like fucking Dreamweaver was playing in my head. It's like, oh my God, look at Melina. She's so beautiful. Kissing's overrated.
So the other thing we do, and now we done the swing thing at AWA. In fact, it started at AWA last year, and then we carried it over to Dragon Con. I'm pretty sure it's a staple at this point. The other thing we started at AWA last year and carried over to Dragon Con was whenever we see somebody who's got like an afro, we suddenly channel Eddie Murphy as Buckwheat singing, and we start going, Wookin' Panub in all the wrong places. Wookin' Panub. And so whenever one of us says that, the other one's looking for smoke with an afro.
We look like gophers on the prairie. We're just like, where is it? Where is it? Oh, there it is. Panub in all the...
Yeah, but the problem is sometimes that song gets stuck in my head. I just want to keep singing it, so I do.
You did. You would just bust out and I'd be like, where's the fro? Where's the fro? Oh, it's just stuck in my head. You asshole.
Yeah. But so yeah, that's another one of the things that we like to do to like alert each other to certain things to keep looking for.
So please carry that on for your own conventions in your own town.
Most
Swing
definitely.
and Wookin'
Swing
Panub.
most definitely. That should keep going.
Yes, absolutely.
But so Saturday, I'm trying to remember what else did we do during the day on Saturday.
You were in costume, so you got a shitload of comments.
I did, I was in a bunch of pictures. Like the girl that ran up to me was like, "Can I have a selfie with you?" I was like,
"Yeah, man, she was hot too." I was like, "Wow, selfie? What does that mean?"
Yeah, I knew what she meant, but I could tell you and your buddy didn't. You're like,
yeah,
what?
we were just like, selfie.
Yeah, I knew she wanted to just take a picture. She was actually going to use her camera phone to just get in it with me, but yeah, I had a lot of people take pictures of me. The other thing that I had that a lot of the other guys didn't have who were dressed as Heisenberg was I actually had the bag of fake meth. Because remember the one dude I walked by and I had like a baggie and I went to shake his hand and I slipped in the baggie and he was just like, damn it, why did I do that?
Yeah, he got so mad. That was hilarious.
Yeah, because that was the first thing I thought. I was like, I gotta have a bag of meth to pass out to people, But so, we did that and then,
I got two things. Number one, we went back to the photo shoot for my buddy to get the White Ranger photo.
Mm-hmm.
So we do.
Oh, God, I forgot about this.
And we go back in there, and I'm like, don't forget, man. He said you can bring extra shit to get signed. He's like, okay, I'm going to do it. So we go in there, and we go, and he waits in line, and he goes and he gets the picture taken. I'm like, so did he do it? He do it? I didn't ask him. I'm like, you fucking idiot! You had a chance. I even reminded you before we went in there, and you didn't ask. He's like, man, I couldn't think about it. I was just, how do I look in the picture? So he gets the picture and he brings it over, and I'm expecting him to be cheesing it up, thumbs up happy. He looks like somebody just beat his kid up in kindergarten. And he shows us and we all start laughing. He's like, ha ha, real funny motherfuckers. What y'all laughing at? And we're just like, dude, you look so mad. He's like, I am smiling. I was like, dude, what are you doing, man? That's $50 and you look like he just raped your sister. Man, I was trying to smile, but he motherfucker didn't sign my shit.
The other great thing is that, like, since he didn't get the picture on Friday with the Green Ranger, was like, they had the pictures out so you could come back and get them. And so it'd be like a picture of you with somebody, but like, of course, he's not in any of these pictures. So he's looking at him, he's like, man, I really want these. And there's one with a little kid, the Green Ranger, he's like,
like 5 years old.
Yeah, like a 5-year-old kid's like, I just want to take this shit. And he's like, Evan, can you Photoshop me into this picture? And we're like, and I think me and Evan both thought, he's like, oh, just take a picture of it and then Photoshop like my head onto the kid's body, because we thought that was hilarious.
Yeah.
But then like, he literally wanted to steal the picture and then actually have Evan legitimately Photoshop the kid out and then Photoshop him in.
Oh man, that was so funny.
But it was great.
Also, we went to the Power Ranger Q&A. And boy, oh boy, let me tell you, they had the first Black Ranger, Zach, I think his name was, the second Yellow Ranger, fuck, I can't remember her name, but she was the Black Yellow Ranger, and then they had Lord Zed, which was the bad guy. Well, of course, like the two Power Rangers were just all super nice and friendly and everything. They were just like, oh, it's a blessing to be on this show. We do this for the fans and everything was great. They're like, what is your favorite memory from being on the set? What do you remember most? So the Black Ranger guy's just like, I remember going and seeing all the children, from the Make-A-Wish Society and, going and, seeing their parents get happy. And I'm like, hell yeah, fuck yeah, positive life change, PMA. And the Yellow Ranger's just like all the friendships that I had, because there's so much time on the set, hurry up and show up, and then you're just waiting for 20 minutes, so you just have to make little jokes with your friends, and I'm like, yeah, I know what you're talking about, that's great. So Lord Zed, the guy who does Lord Zed, he's like this old white guy, he goes, I'll tell you what I remember. I remember Susan, and then he said some last name, he's like, I remember Susan, what's her name? Everybody else there was getting paid top dollar because it was a hit show. But I was just a voice actor. And you know what? She tried to pay me in peanuts. Well, I'm friends with Carl Saban, the man who had the Power Rangers show. So I went and I talked to Carl Saban. And I said, Carl, I'm not working for peanuts. And she tried to get me fired. So you know what I remember? I remember that Susan was nothing more than a C-U-N-T. And before he could say T, the Black Ranger goes, whoa! It jumps right in front of him. And every fucking person in that entire auditorium, like 300 people go, and I'm going, why'd you just spelled out cunt?
Yeah,
and I'm the only fucking person laughing.
That dude was like old and bitter and didn't give a fuck anymore. Like, even when we saw him sitting in like the signing area, like he just looked old and crazy. Like, I think he had some kind of mental, like health and mental problems or something.
Of course he's Lord Zed, the evil overlord of the universe. Of course he's crazy.
True.
But then I think everybody kind of loosened up, because before that it was just like, oh, this is a kid's show. And then this guy just comes up, he goes, I want to know what Lord Zed sounds like after a couple of beers. And the guy goes, he sounds like this. Son of a bitch. And everybody just started laughing, man. And after that, I was like, man, this is the best panel. I'm so glad we came. Yeah. And, everybody was super cool when it come to interacting with the fans. They answered the questions. A lot of people had their lives changed by the Power Rangers. And that show's over 20 years old, which is kind of cool to see. I was never a really big fan myself, but I know a lot of my friends are. And I enjoyed it, even just as, a third party. Yeah. I thought it was really cool.
So I think after that was when I jumped in costume and we got a bunch of, that's when we did all the interviews, I think.
Yeah.
We did them all that night because I was an idiot and the camera died and I forgot to bring my charger, so we couldn't do any on Sunday. But then after that, I was done. I was done with Dragon Con at that point. Like, I think I'd pretty much signed out on Saturday morning after the fucking parade.
Yeah, it was a little crazy. It was a little crazy.
Yeah, because, I mean, the numbers I'm hearing now is that there were 60,000 people there this year, and supposedly they're adding a 6th hotel next year.
Well, they need to, because it was... I look at it this way. I can see both sides of the coin on this. Number one, it's great that it's growing, because that means we're going to get bigger stars. We're going to have more people showing up. There's going to be more costumes, more people, more parties. Mm-hmm. So it's going to be cool. But on the flip side, that also means more dumbasses who know nothing about the culture that just want to show up and get drunk in a fucking Walmart costume, which sucks.
Yeah, well, the problem, too, I think, with it is that a lot of the people... You've got 2 to 3 groups of people that are coming here. You've got the people who've been coming to Dragon Con since they were young, and now they've got families, and they're coming and bringing their kids. And they're just all kind of reliving all this stuff, and they're having a good time. It's like a family thing. And those people are generally pretty cool, okay? Then you've got the people kind of like us who are just going for a good time, you know? And, you know, we goof off, but we're generally fairly cool people. But then you've got the guys who are just like... I once watched a cartoon. I know there's a lot of parties at Dragon Con. I'm gonna get fucked up. And that's what they're there for. And they're people
I got on my Superman shirt.
Yeah, and like those are the guys for me that ruin it. Like don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should not to have a good time and not to party, because you can do that, but you can do it without being a fucking dick and fucking up everything for everybody else. And that's
because Dragon Con, like,
ruining it.
Because to me, Dragon Con isn't always will be a magical event. You know, even, you know, there was a couple times when my buddy and Kyle were legitimately not having a good time. But me, I was having a blast the whole fucking time I was there. Even when I'm just sitting down watching people walk by, I'm having a blast. I mean, I was waiting for my buddy to get money out of an ATM, and a fucking mermaid in a brassiere with big huge titties eating a slice of pizza strikes up a conversation with me. When the fuck does that ever happen? I honestly cannot complain when things like that are happening in my life, because I'm just standing there doing nothing and she's talking to me and I'm like, hey, beautiful mermaid, I hope you're not the kind that eat human beings and lead us astray. And no, she was the friendly kind that enjoyed pizza. And that's all I can ask for.
And see, the other thing too is that, like, I had a good time, but it wasn't necessarily the con that I had a good time. I had a good time because of the friends and the people I talked with and hung out with. That's why I had a good time. Like, there were fun stuff at the con. Like, I loved, you know, all the interviews that were done. The people I got to meet and take pictures with for my costume were fun to you know, talk with. And then, like, the Night Attack panel was great. I wanted to go to the fucking magic show, but fucking security cunt. That's the Saturday night thing that ended it, actually, for me, is after the interviews, we were going to go to the magic show, which was done by the guy who was one of the Night Attack guys from the night before. And I've never seen his act, but I've always heard it's really good, and I'm like, oh, I really want to see this. And so we stand in line, and fucking security bitch is just constantly yelling at us, like, who told my line they can move? Who told my line they can move? And
you cannot move!
Yeah, people are getting pissed at her, like, and then, like, most of the time, if they see they have a really long line in a small room, which this was, they'll start counting the line and telling people, like, hey, listen, you're not going to have a seat unless somebody leaves and you have to wait. They didn't do that until, like, literally the room was flat full, like, oh, well, all you guys who stood here for 45 minutes, that you can't get in.
Yeah. So that bitch obviously did not know what her job was.
Yeah, and that's when I was just like, I'm going back to the room. I'm done with this tonight. And so I just went back and, like, drank and chilled out in the room. But
I went to fucking see the Cabal cut of Nightbreed, which, mind you, took forever because there was a huge line, but it was totally worth it. 2 hours. When it comes out, it's coming out on Shock Factory's putting it out. If you like the movie Nightbreed by Clive Barker, check out the Cabal cut. The guy who put it together really loved the book. You can tell it's fucking beautiful.
Yeah, I've never seen it. That's one reason I wasn't really super concerned with going to it, because I was like, I don't know anything about it. I've watched Nightbreed since Dragon Con, and it's not too bad. I probably still wouldn't have cared to go see it, though.
Dude, I mean, just Shuna Sassy, crazy naked porcupine chick. I saw her in the Q&A. I thought to myself, are her boobies still as lovely as they were in the film? I hope they are. She aged well, I'll say that. And the guy who played Pinhead is in that movie, Doug Bradley, he was there, and man, he was funny as shit. Because, I mean, I don't know how much people actually know about this stuff, but when you see these monsters in movies, that shit doesn't just happen in 2 minutes. Those people have to sit in chairs for like 6-7 hours doing makeup. And one of the things that I thought that was funny was he was like, you know, I'm just sitting there the whole time and everybody's coming up to me and they're saying, you know, lovely work on your makeup. And it's like, bloke, I didn't do nothing. I sat in a chair and I farted and smoked cigarettes for 6 hours while this bloke made me look amazing.
Oh my god.
And I was just like, man, this guy's cool as shit.
Who did
and they
he
were just
play in Nightbreed?
He played, God, now I'm having a brain fart.
Describe how they look, because I sure as fuck won't remember the names.
He was the main priest guy. He was the judge of Midian.
Okay. I know
Something Men. I can't remember his first part of his last name, but it ends in Men.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about now.
But yeah, the guy with the eyes on his cheeks that goes, Boone!
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it was totally worth it. And I was tired as shit because I woke up super early that morning and I was like, I was at that level of sleepiness where you close your eyes for 2 seconds and you almost fall the fuck over and you're just like, oh man, I almost just fell over. But then I would wake back up and I'd be like, man, this movie's so fucking good. It's like a brand new movie.
That's
whoa,
cool.
shit. Yeah, but it was good. And then I think we got back together on Sunday. We got there a little bit later because I think we were all kind of exhausted from waking up early 2 days in a row.
Yeah, and like I stayed up, even though I was in the hotel room, I stayed up really late because I was just flipping the channels. Like I don't have cable, so like when there's a TV with cable, I become an idiot. I'm just like, oh, it's a TV, and I literally just want to watch it, even if it's like I'm watching like fucking Wife Swap or some stupid shit like that.
God.
But in the process
King
of flipping
Curtis.
the channels, no, in the process of flipping the channels, though, I saw like Evangelion 2.2 was on.
Yes,
so I watched that because it was pretty good. And then like my friend who I was staying with, she had gone out to one of the parties that night, and I started to lay down, and then right when I was starting to fall asleep, she came in, which was late. And so then when she came in, we were talking, and so then I didn't end up going to sleep until probably about 4 o'clock. But then we had to get up because we had to check out of the hotel, and we had a lot of shit we had to put in the fucking car, which was parked way far away. So, but yeah, I think we finally met up maybe around noon or 1.
Yeah, we met up at the food court because we had got some breakfast. And let me just say, Caribou Coffee, you might as well get a hold of my fucking routing and account number because as long as you make the Green Lantern cooler, you will have my money. Folks, this is it's like a blended coffee beverage, a frappuccino, if you will, with fucking pieces of Andes mints in it. Oh, man, it was good. I drank that shit so fast, I forgot that I even drank it. Oh, my God. It was amazing. Because I love Andes mints and I love coffee, and it's just like...
But yeah, I know we then went and did our last rounds in the dealer's room, and then it was pouring down rain. We wanted to get something to eat, so we actually went to a sit-down restaurant, which is something that, like, let me put it like this. If you're with Evan at a convention, even though Evan doesn't talk, even Evan's like, oh, fast food's so disgusting. Evan only wants to eat fucking fast food at a convention.
I eat at the 2 places, Wendy's and Checkers. Other than that, fuck fast food.
Yeah, but like when you're at a convention, Evan's always like, let's just go to the food court and eat really quick. And sometimes like, no, let's sit down and like actually enjoy a meal. You know, there's nowhere we need to be immediately. So we actually went to the Hard Rock, which that was probably one of my favorite experiences because like it was awesome.
Totally awesome.
Yeah, like the dude came over to the table and asked us what music we wanted to play. So.
And we were throwing some crazy shit at him. We were like, Dawkins, Dream Warriors. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. The video where the guy kicks out of the wall and starts playing a guitar solo to the girl who's having a nightmare. Yeah. And we're like, holy shit, how did you know that? And then he says it, and then he fucking put it up on the screen. Then he played some Scorpions and like some Phil Collins, and it's just like, where do they go and they just ask you what you want to hear? And like, the waitress was super on the money. She was real friendly. She was always asking us if we needed anything. The food was delicious. Man, it was
they were just concerned, like, did you have to wait too long? Because we know, like, you're here for Dragon Con. We don't want you to waste time in line. We're like, nah, man, it's like 15 minutes. That's fucking shorter waits than at home when there's nobody around. So, you know.
And man, when I went to go wash my fucking hands, I walked right the fuck by Jim Butcher. I was like, that couldn't have been Jim Butcher sitting here eating a hamburger. So I walk and I wash my hands and I walk back out. And I walked by, and I didn't look long enough to be creepy fanboy, but I walked by, I said, God damn it, that was Jim Butcher! Holy shit! He was eating a fucking hamburger, and I just walked by him. We're gonna go fucking see him, and we just saw him again, it's gonna be amazing. So I walked by, and I go up to my friends, I'm like, dude, Jim Butcher's right fucking there! And they're like, who's Jim Butcher? And I was like, shit.
Yeah, because neither one of us have ever read the books. Now, I will say this. After we got done eating, we went to the Jim Butcher panel and listened to him talk. And I'm gonna admit, I'm not a big fan of going to panels because panels are one of two things. Either one, they're really great and like the people are really into it on stage, and the people who ask questions ask like legit questions that are like really interesting, Or the people on stage don't give a fuck, and the people asking questions are things like, in episode 397 of your series, you said that the Klingons did this, but in episode 248 beforehand, you had said they don't. Can you explain this discrepancy? It's like, dude, what the fuck, man? That's like the stupidest, worst question you could ask somebody. You know, and so that's why I don't like to go. But the Jim Butcher panel was pretty legit. Like, there was like one or two questions like that, but he just made fun of them.
Yeah, he's funny.
He was pretty hilarious.
I've got to ask you, Kyle. You know, our buddy Randy has been absent for a while here lately. So I'm just wondering, as he is such a fan of tabletop role-playing games, could you give me a sample question to what he would ask somebody at perhaps a Pathfinder panel?
In the recent Pathfinder expansion, you created a new class. However, in reference to previous classes, they are almost exactly the same. It's almost like you just made them for power gamers. Did you do this on purpose?
Randy, the level 85 wizard mage of the dark castle of Dragonder.
Exactly.
Oh, man.
I will say this, too, about the Jim Butcher thing. Like, I've never read any of those books. I don't read a lot, mostly because I don't have the time to really put into sitting down and reading a new series and being depressed that it's never going to be finished because the fat bastard who's writing is going to fucking drop dead before he gets the last two books out.
George R. Martin? Yeah.
But he's interesting enough that I'm willing to sit down and try to read that first book. And if it's good, I'll stay with it, you know?
It starts a little slow, but I would say go through the first two books because basically the reason why I like it is because it is fantasy, there is magic in it, but there are a ton of witty comebacks and just backsass and snaps and retorts. And he's like staring at this, 3,000-year-old vampire who can destroy cities with a wave of his hand. And he's making cracks about how stupid his shirt looks. And it's like, man, that's balls. That's hilarious. That's why I love the series personally.
That's cool. Yeah, I mean, like, I know a lot of people who read it and enjoy it, so one of those things I haven't given it a chance, especially because I know how long it is. It's like, God, it's a lot of fucking books. Shit. Read, man. What the fuck? That's why I got a math degree, so I didn't have to read.
Yeah, reading's for them queers what go to them liberals arts college.
Exactly.
Ain't no time for that.
But I was going to say, I think the Jim Butcher panel was like the last one we went to. I think after that, we kind of headed out.
Because our buddy fell fucking asleep.
Yeah.
We turned and looked to the left, and he's catching some Z's on his knees, all snuggled up on his fucking lap.
And later he's like, no, man, I wasn't sleeping. I was just closing my eyes.
Yeah. Who says that? Oh, I'm just going to rest my eyes. Shit, you were sleeping. You know it.
But then, like, me and the friend that I was with, too, who I stayed in the hotel room with, she had been working the convention, and she was just, like, ready to leave, too. So we just, I think at 6 o'clock, we all went our ways and went home. But, Evan, so Dragon Con, I know you'll be back next year.
Yeah. Maybe not for the whole 3 days, but at least for 1 or 2.
Yeah, I think I've done this before. Like, I remember my first couple Dragon Cons back in 2000. I went, like, for a day, and then I went for, like, 2 days, and then the next year I went for the whole time. And after that whole time, when I was like, and I didn't go again until, like, 2008 or 9. So I think what I need to do is maybe every few years I'll go for, like, the whole time or then more than 1 day. But for the most part, I think I'll stick to maybe 1 or 2 days at most. Because it's just too long, you know? You start to get tired, and, like, if you feel like, you really get to the point where it's just like, what am I going to do? You know, because there's not always something you want to do there. So, at least not for me.
For me, it's just too expensive. I mean, because it's an extra night in a hotel, it's an extra day you have to pay for on your badge, and, like, the thing that sucks for me is everything's so spread out. There's like a total of 7 things that I want to do throughout 3 days. And it's like 4 of them on the first day, 2 of them on the second day, 1 on the third day. So it's just like, I'm just going to sacrifice one of those days and miss out a little bit of it and just save like $150, you know?
Yeah, and you didn't even stay at a close hotel. You said one that was far away, man. I'm going to tell you right now, those hotels like right there, the Sheraton, not even one of the major ones, that was fucking ridiculously expensive. Like, I would not do that again. Like, it's gone up since the last time I did it, like, by probably doubled. And I was like, no, I won't stay, like, there again. If I do, it'll be for a night. I would somehow just get 1 night, and that'd be it. Not, like, 3 nights. So,
And I tell you what, man, I tried to make them earn my fucking money. I drank so much water out of those little fucking water coolers there. I must have drank at least 2 gallons of water a day. Because like, oh, free water, just for Evan Jones. And I'd go and I'd drink like 2 or 3 cups. And then I would go sit down with that 4th cup. And I'd just be like, yep, I'm good.
Yeah. But I mean, I had a good time. But like I said, I had most of my good time came from like hanging out with you and Steven and your other friend.
Yeah, man, that was a blast. Again, Steven, thanks so much, man. We really appreciated your help. I'm not always the best cameraman, and you kind of came through and helped us out a lot there.
Yeah, and I kind of like, after my Saturday morning, I kind of was just like, you know what, I'm done. I was like, I'm so just fed up at this point. So that's I'm glad Steven was there to kind of be our backup, and kind of him and Maestro kind of both gave the oomph to get me interested in trying to get stuff done again. So
hell yeah.
But I know
good
for AWA, are we still thinking about the costume idea we mentioned?
Yeah, fuck yes we are. I'll be off Wednesday and Thursday. All we gotta do is I'm gonna look up the shit on Wednesday when I wake up. I'm gonna put this in my computer so I don't forget and figure out how much it's gonna be, because that'll give us plenty of time.
Should we tell people?
Yeah, fuck it. Let's go ahead. Let it loose.
Okay, so some of you may have heard of it, some of you may not. So there's this TV show called Downtown Nogaki Tsukai. Okay, and basically it's this Japanese TV show, and it's a comedy show, and there's 2 main guys on it. Their team was called Downtown, and it's Hamada and Matsumoto. Okay, now every year they do this thing they call the Batsu Games, and in the Batsu Games, what happens is some weird scenario has been set up. Like the last one was a school and their teachers. And they have all these Japanese celebrities come into the school, and basically these 5 key people from the show have no idea what's happening until it starts. And then they basically just try to make these guys laugh. And every time these guys laugh, these guys who are wearing like ski mask and like camo with these like pool noodles or something run in there and just
they're like rubber bats.
Yeah, they just run in there and beat the shit out of them, and they run out. And whenever one of them laughs, you'll hear them come over like the intercom, and they'll go, Hamada, Matsumoto, Alto! And they just run in there, and they know as soon as they hear that to bend over and just get slapped in the ass as hard as they can.
And sometimes they miss, and they'll hit them right in the balls or in the dick, which is even funnier.
Yeah. But so what we were thinking about doing is just dressing up as those Batsu guys and just running around and just like, I guess, popping each other or popping the other people we're with. I don't think the people we're with would be down with us popping them.
We're gonna have signs on that are gonna say Zane Auto, and if anybody recognizes us, they're like, "Hey, you're the guys from Gaki no Tsukai." We're gonna run over and hit them in the butt with a pool noodle.
Or maybe like we should alternate which ones of us dress as it on a day, and then we can just slap each other.
That'd be great.
So whenever like one of us laughs, it's just we know what's happened. Like, oh shit. Just bend over.
That's going to be a bad idea because I'm going to laugh so much.
Yeah.
Oh man, those dudes have like fucking bleeding hemorrhoids from that shit. This could be a terrible idea.
Or their asses are calloused, like just rock hard.
Calass.
That's Superman's brother.
Calass.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, he's Kal-El and Calass.
Calass. I heard that was Superman's Scottish sister, Calass.
Oh man, but so yeah, Dragon Con, whatever.
Yeah, fuck Dragon Con. Let's go to Anime Week in Atlanta. Woo!
I just like it more. I just can't. Okay, so this is gonna be my last thing, and I think we'll wrap it up because we're going kind of long. But this is the thing with Dragon Con. When I first went in 2000, I was into a lot more into role-playing games. I was super big into comic books. I was into a lot of sci-fi and fantasy type stuff. So it was like, I love going there. But as time's gone on, I've like refined what I'm more into, and it's a lot smaller things. And it's mostly like anime and 1 or 2 other major things. So when you go to Dragon Con though, there is so much going on that it's just like, half of it I'm like, what the fuck are you? Who the fuck are you and where are you from? You know, I don't recognize half the costumes. Or it's just like, oh great, another Doctor Who. Or another person wearing a TARDIS dress. Or another person dressed as a TARDIS. Who the fuck cares? Like, you know, it's one of those things, and it's like, unless you're really into it, it's just like, whatever. And most of the panels are like that too for me. Like, the only panels I really wanted to see were the ones of the guys who I knew from this comedy podcast. Because I was like, oh, these guys are hilarious. I'll watch each one of their shows. I'll go listen to their panel. So AWA though is different because it's so focused on anime. There's tons of stuff I want to go see, and when I go and I leave from there, I feel like I've learned about more content that I want to see or take in. Like, oh, cool, these are some new anime I hadn't heard about. I'll go watch these. Or, oh, these are some manga I'll read. I'll go read them. But I don't get that same feeling from Dragon Con. You know, Dragon Con is just kind of like a place you go for 5 days and just get crazy fun and fucked up, and that's it. So.
And for me, both of them are great because I just like to go see people who spend a lot of time on their costumes. Mostly ladies, I'm not going to lie. But I enjoy seeing people who put a lot of time and effort into their costumes, and I can just sit down in a chair and watch it all day long. That makes me happy. And of course, any place where I can buy, coffee and pizza at any given minute is great too. But, I enjoy that at both places, so I still enjoy both of them. I'm the thumbs up, he's the thumbs down.
I didn't say necessarily thumbs down, but I'm not as excited about it as I would be, as I am AWA.
So how, out of 5 stars, what is your rating for Dragon Con?
This year?
Just period.
Period? Oh, I'd still probably give it like a 4. This year was only maybe 2.5 to 3.
Ooh.
It was just too crowded. And like, it was very poorly planned. Like, they changed so much stuff around, and it was just spread out. And I don't think next year's going to be any better, because the new hotel they're at is the Omni, and that's nowhere nearby. And even though they said it's just going to be the registration, that's still a long-ass way to have to walk over there to register, then walk all the way down to the fucking con.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. It's one of these things, like, it's grown really fast in a short amount of time, and I think, like, they're going through growing pains.
Yeah.
And they won't do what other cons do. Like, some other conventions, like PAX and, I'm trying to remember what the other one was. I know PAX and some of the other major cons, like, that are more industry-based, they'll limit the tickets. Like, once they sell out, they're sold out, and that's it. You can't get in. But Dragon Con won't do that, because Dragon Con is a business. Like, people don't realize it, but it's incorporated. And there are people who their whole job is Dragon Con. All year round, they just plan Dragon Con and do stuff for it. And so their goal is to make more money so they can make more money. So they're not going to limit attendance. They'll just, say, fuck it, whatever, we'll deal with it. So.
Well, let's hope. I mean, you did say that each con has to go through growing pains.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just hoping that Dragon Con doesn't fucking invite Kirk Cameron and his Crocodile bullshit. That's all I gotta say. I'm done.
Well, on that note, I think we'll just end the podcast. So if you have any questions or you have any Dragon Con stories you want to tell us that you want us to talk about, you can email them to us at offenderspodcast@gmail.com. That's offenderspodcast@gmail.com. So until next time, I'm Kyle.
I'm Evan.
This has been the Offenders. Y'all have a good one.
Listen to Strife.